What did you actually do? Did you just not say anything? Did you just let it be? Did you just hope and pray that they would just listen and do it instead of you doing anything, right? Be honest that you just want to have these imaginary boundaries that you never even voiced to anyone, but you want people to follow your boundaries, your rules, your standards, all these different things. You want them to oblige by your rules and respect your boundaries when you haven't even let these people know what they are.
To some, boundaries are just placing limits. To me, it's where the limitless things begin.
Hello, and thank you for tuning into the Boundaries and More podcast with Jess Abraham. I am your host, Jess Abraham, your favorite boundaries coach, and today's episode is brought to you by Joyful Styles. Joyful Styles is a lifestyle brand that provides premium quality apparel that promotes joy and positivity. Joyful Styles believes how we approach a situation matters, and choosing to be joyful makes all the difference. You have the power, and it's time to embrace it. So get your Joyful Styles apparel at joyfulstyles.com. That's JoyfulStylez.com. Let's go. Look, for those of you who have not yet taken that boundaries quiz, I suggest that you take some time out of your day today to take that boundaries quiz. The link for you is in the show notes. However, you can feel free to send me a text message as well. Text me the word boundaries to 210-801-9153, and I'll get that sent over to you. Let's go. Also, for those of you, you know that you need it, and you know that there's just some things that you would like to do and you want to help further yourself even more, then I would suggest that you click the link in the show notes to check out the 5 things about boundaries I wish I knew sooner. Again, that link is in the show notes, or you can text me. Text me the word sooner to 210-801-9153, and I'll get that sent over to you. Again, that's 5 things about boundaries I wish I knew sooner. Let's shorten your learning curve by getting you that document, y'all. I'm spilling the tea. So let's go, y'all. Yeah, I'm ready to get into this one. I'm excited. Something that I've been thinking about, and I'm just ready to bring it here to the podcast, y'all. Y'all see it, right? Dealing with repeat offenders, right? So what this means is really dealing with those people who consistently violate your boundaries, but as I like to call them, repeat offenders. So, y'all, I'm ready to dive into it. So today, I'm going to give you 5 things that you can do when dealing with repeat offenders, y'all. There's 5 things that can be extremely helpful to you in your situations. Now, before I get into any of this stuff, I do want to mention that dealing with repeat offenders, I know, can be very frustrating. The good news is, though, you have the power on how frustrated you decide to be. Okay? So, y'all, now, I also want to say it matters who the repeat offender is, because in certain situations you might deal with these repeat offenders differently, and because you'll deal with it differently if it's your spouse or versus your parent or your supervisor or something like that, right? Depending on who the person is and how much care that you have for the people, dealing with them could look a little bit differently. Now, with that said, I want to let you all know this does not mean you cannot have the same boundaries with different people, right? You can have this one particular boundary that goes across the board. Doesn't matter who you are, right? Who the person is, I should say. It doesn't matter who the person is. This boundary is a boundary and you mean it, right? Again, I want to put that out there so that you don't get confused. Saying, I need to have different boundaries with different people. Yes, in certain situations, that is true. However, you're still able to have the exact same boundaries with many different people across the board. All right. I want to, again, preference anything I'm getting ready to say with that because I believe that's so important that I don't want you to say, oh, I can't have boundaries with this person because they're my spouse. Oh, I can't have boundaries with this person because they're my parent or whatever. No, 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 no. We're not doing that. There's boundaries that I have in place that apply to my parents, apply to my wife, and apply to whoever else out there in the world, right? But again, how we deal with these folks when they repeatedly violate these boundaries, it matters, right? Because the way I might present my case to my wife is different than I may present the case to my parents and anybody else, right? So y'all, okay, like, let me get right into it, right? Number one, right, when dealing with repeat offenders, right, people who consistently violate your boundaries, what I want you to do is continue to set and enforce your boundaries, right? You're like, but yes, they're already violating, they're not listening, they're not doing whatever. Look, I want you to continue to set and enforce your boundaries, right? This shows people that you are serious, right? Because sometimes we may say things and then let things slide and whatever, that people don't take us serious because we let them violate it, and or we let it slide, as we would say. We let things slide, and they're like, oh, I did that last time. She was good, or he was good, or whatever, right? No, 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 no. You must show people that you are serious. Serious. So regardless of what, continue to set and enforce your boundaries, right? I want to say this as well. Like, I'm gonna just put this out there because this example just dropped in my spirit when I said it. Like, y'all, so me, um, I do not apologize for this. I don't. Y'all, I am not. I repeat, I am not a dog lover or cat lover, bird lover. No, I'm not an animal lover, y'all. I am not. That's just not my thing, right? But I know people who just love their dogs and, their animals, particularly in these cases, their dogs and things of that sort. And I have a rule that there will be no dogs in our home. Period. Like, no, you cannot bring your little dog. I don't care how small they are. I don't care how trained they are. I don't care none of that stuff. I said what I said. No dogs allowed in our home. I don't do animals. I don't like them. I don't. Look, y'all. I don't. I'm not an animal lover, y'all. Okay, you do what you want with that information, but it ain't for me. Okay, so I don't want anybody's animals in our home. And I will continue to enforce that. Like, I I think about several things. Man, I'm thinking about this uh, particular experience when that just happened recently when I was inviting someone on. They're like, "Oh yeah, 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 we come," and then I got to bring my dog. Ooh, about that. Plans canceled. Don't even worry about it. Like, forget all the plans that we just made. It's all canceled now because my boundaries say no pets in our home. Period. Okay? All right. I'm gonna keep it moving, y'all, but I want you to continue to set and enforce, right? Don't just let things slide, because when you let it slide once, then you gonna let it slide again and again, and then you might just say, "Oh, just forget it," because I just keep letting them slide. So just continue to set and enforce this. I'm telling you, y'all. And on another note about this, when you continue to set and enforce this, right? The thing is, you only have control on what you do. You do not have control on what other people do or over what other people do with your boundaries, right? You put your boundaries in place, you continue to set and enforce those things, and let it be, right? You are not in control of other people's actions. There's some things to do that I'm gonna give you when those people are, yeah, we gonna get into it. I'm jumping ahead a little bit because I'm really passionate about this because I've seen it, and I see people allow people to violate their boundaries because of whatever reason, because their relationship with the person or different things. I'm like, bro, I don't care who you are. You gonna get these boundaries, okay? Period. All right, y'all. Look. Y'all. So for some of you might need a little in depth. Like, you really need to see this thing. I think it's important for a lot of you to actually take this next step, right? So the next step in dealing with those repeat offenders, right? Number two is to keep a record of the events, right? It sometimes it helps so much to write things down. And particularly, I want you to write the things down that happened. Like, what did they do? What boundary was it that they violated repeatedly and all these different things? And then also write down your response to those things, right? What did you do when they violated those boundaries, right? Did you continue to enforce, like, hey, look, I'm serious, like, don't do that, et cetera, et cetera? Or did you be like, you know what? It's okay, but next time I need you to write things down, because once you take pretty much take inventory of this, and then you keep records of what's happening, you can see for yourself what they're doing and how you're responding. Because truth be told, you could be playing a real critical part in why they're continuing to violate your boundaries repeatedly. You could be playing a really, really part in that, but you might not see it, right? So if you write these things down and keep a record of these things, visit it, then that can help you, right? That will definitely help you, y'all. I want to help you all, because man, it's real free on the other side. I promise you. You feel real good. When you're standing up for yourself and feel real good about it. I'm telling you now, it's different. But write those things down to see how you're playing a part, or what exact boundary they keep violating. And yeah, get that thing written down so you can see it with your own eyes. I see it with my own eyes. Look, see it with your own eyes, okay, y'all? All right. So next, right? Next, number three, I want you to be clear and honest with yourself about what you will and will not accept, right? Be clear and honest with yourself, what you will and will not accept. Because sometimes, y'all, you know how it is. We be like, oh, if this person do this, I'm done, or this, that, whatever, right? And then when the situation happens, because it's likely to happen, or you wouldn't have thought about certain things, right? Or you know how this person personality and the things that they do, you know how they are. And then when this thing happened, you be like, oh man, you know what? Actually, again, I'm gonna let that slide. Like that was a one-time thing and whatever. Like, be honest about these things, right? Because you're not helping yourself if you're lying to yourself or anyone else about this stuff, but truly to yourself. So you must be clear and be honest with yourself. This is the way that you'll be able to help you. Again, when you're writing these things down, right? I want you to refer, like, be honest. Like, how did you actually respond? What did you actually do? Did you just not say anything? Did you just let it be? Did you just hope and pray that they would just listen and do it instead of you doing anything, right? You be honest that you just want to have these imaginary boundaries that you never even voiced to anyone, but you want people to follow your boundaries, your rules, your standards, all these different things. You want them to oblige by your rules and respect your boundaries when you haven't even let these people know what they are, right? Are you doing that? Be clear, be honest. Be honest. Because I know lots of people who get so upset with other people who are engaging in behavior that they don't particularly care for, and they feel in a sense disrespected in a way, but they never speak up and say anything about it. They just hold it in, and then they explode on other people who had absolutely nothing to do with the situation. They're confronting all these other people that they feel a little more safe and comfort with, versus confronting the repeat offender. I see it. I see it too often, y'all. It's interesting to me. I say it that way. It's very interesting to me. And this is why I do this work. This is why I love this work, because man, when I see that, I'm like, Yeah, areas for improvement there. Like we can work on that. We can work on that. Like what's happening here? You don't need to be upset. I promise you. There's so much happiness, love, peace, and joy in the world, and I want you to experience it as much as possible. But giving your power away is not going to be the thing that help you experience it as much as possible. Right? Joyful styles, y'all, you have the power. And it's time to embrace it. Right? Okay, y'all. Yeah, look, yeah, this the stuff I love, y'all. I love this stuff. I can literally talk about boundaries all day, every day. I love this, right? And my biggest thing with these is seeing people break through this barrier that they've been having, this thing like that. Man, when I'm working with people and I'm helping and coaching and assisting people to stand up for themselves and feel good about it, and they know like, girl, this is really possible. Like, okay, I see it is brighter on this side. It is more joy and peace and happiness on this side. Man, that just brightens my day, light me up. Like it's let's go, y'all. Okay, let's go. I'm doing that. Also, well, I want to mention this before I go to number 4. So being clear and honest about your boundaries and like what yourself, what you accept and what you would not accept. But I also want you to not don't just set boundaries because they sound good or because you see another person doing it. Do the things and set the boundaries that are really conducive for your life and your lifestyle. Because everyone's different. Just because I have a certain boundary don't mean that you need to have those particular boundaries. You might. You dang near. You might really do need to have that too. But don't do it just because someone else is doing it. Doing it because it really makes sense in your life. Right? Look, y'all. I want to say I'm gonna give this example because I think just make it real tangible here. I do not have children. I do not desire to have children at all. Shout out to all you parents out there. I appreciate each and every one of you. Man, God bless you all. Okay. So my boundaries and the things that I have with children would look a lot different for a person, a parent with children, right? For a person with children, it would look different. So just because I have certain boundaries when it comes to kids, maybe that don't work for you in your life because you have your own children, right? I'm just saying, don't just be. Oh, that sounds real good. I can. I'm just saying, certain things may indeed fit and work, but don't just do it just because somebody else is doing it or it sounds good. Make sure it works for your life. Again, clear and honest. You must be clear and honest. All right. All right, y'all. So number 4, right? When dealing with repeat offenders, number 4, I want you to get this. Hear me and hear me clearly. Not all people will accept or respect your boundaries, right? So accept that, right? In dealing with repeat offenders, accept. Number 4, accept that some people just won't respect your boundaries. There's nothing necessarily you're doing wrong. It's just look, maybe you're just not compatible. Maybe they're just not the person or people for you. Maybe you need to just get yourself up out of that friend group and get into another one, right? Not all people will respect your boundaries. Right? Again, I'm jumping ahead. But look, remember to control what you can control. You can only control your actions, not other people's. Right? So then when there is this people that's not accepting or respecting your boundaries at all, what you can do, right? It's gonna lead me straight into number 5. Number 5, you can limit your contact and or interaction with the people or let me say this. Let me slow down. I'm gonna repeat number 5 because I want to say it differently and say it in another way. The way that I intended to say it to you all, right? So number 5, you limit your contact or interaction and or You can cut people off. Cut them off. It is not required for you to be miserable in the life of people who deliberately, repeatedly offend, right? They're violating your boundaries time and time and time again. Like, you don't need to be in relationship with these people, right? Again, like I preference the episode and saying, depending on who the person is, you will deal with it differently. And I'm saying everyone, I promise y'all, every single person on this earth can be cut off. Period. For me, every single person can be cut off. Dog, let me tell you, I love my parents, and particularly, I love my mom. I love my mom so, so much. But way back when she was violating and coming at me crazy with the boundaries, there was a time in my life it was necessary for me to cut my mom off. I didn't need the negative energy and vibe and all that stuff. I did not need that, nor did I want that, right? Remember, I choose joy, and what she was doing was not bringing me that joy or adding value to my life. She need in that season, she had to go. Look, she had to go in that season. Now, listen, these days we have a totally different, great, great relationship. But there was a season where that was not the case, and I needed to cut my mom off. Like, and y'all, truth be told, I know I've said this on an episode or two or three or four, whatever, before, but I'm telling y'all, once I realized, like, when I just, okay, moms can get it, anybody can get it. Like, if I can cut my mom off, any and everybody is fair game. Like, seriously, anybody can get it, y'all. Everybody, like, people can get cut off, period. Right? Only person I'm not trying to cut off, or like only me, my connection with Jesus and my connection with God. Like, that's the only one relationship I ain't looking to cut off. But any other relationship, y'all, it has the ability to be cut off. If you're not bringing that joy, that peace, that happens, like whatever, you're not bringing me that good vibe, good energy, joyful vibes, joyful energy. I'm just saying, I'm good on that. Period. Y'all. And I know. Look, you know, I've been in my head a lot lately. But look, I know it can be very scary for some people to just do that. That's why I mentioned limiting that contact. Maybe if you used to talking to somebody for an hour, maybe you just start talking to them for 10 minutes. Right? Limit that contact, that interactions. Right? If they're co-workers and things like, hey, limit that interaction with them. Your supervisor would limit as much as possible that interaction with them. Right? Because when you allow them in your space, you're allowing, I'll say in a sense, like a place for them to feel like, okay, well, yeah, you allow them in, and then they're going to continue repeating if that's what they're showing you. Now, if they do something and once or twice, and then they correct themselves, like, okay, this is different. We're talking about people who consistently violate your boundaries, right? Repeat offenders, y'all. Repeat offenders, right? Those people who keep asking. I think about this a lot when I think about repeat offenders, like the people who keep asking, "Oh, let me borrow this amount of money till this day," and never give it back. All these things, and we continue to give them the things and that sort. Like, I have a whole different mentality and mindset when it comes to that. Maybe I'll talk to y'all another time about it. But I've mentioned some of that before. Like, I'm good on that. But y'all, look, that's really what I have for you today. That's what I'm going to give you. Those 5 things in dealing with repeat offenders, y'all. Right? I'm gonna say it quickly again. Like, y'all, go back and listen to this episode, dissect some stuff, and make sure that you're doing these things that can help you when dealing with repeat offenders. I'm gonna say them really quickly, and I'm gonna get up out of here. Okay? So Again, when dealing with repeat offenders, 1, continue to set and enforce those boundaries. 2, keep a record of the events, like whatever they're doing, you're doing, etc. Right? Go back and listen to it in depth if you would like. 3, be clear and honest about what you will and will not accept. All right. 4, accept that some people just won't respect your boundaries, unfortunately, for them. Okay. And 5, limit that interaction and that contact with those people, and or just cut them off. Right? You have the power to do that, y'all. It doesn't matter who the person is. You have the power, y'all. Again, those are things I wanted to share with you today. I'm super excited, y'all. Like, I pray that this helped free some of you up. Like, man, that's my goal and mission here, to like truly, 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 y'all, like for you to live a life that brings you the most joy. Like, that's important to me. Like, so important to me. The thing that that gets me up and keeps me like going and doing these things, even when I'm like, bruh, I'm already living a certain life. I'm like, the thing, like, there's people that they need this. Not about you, Jazz. It's not. Like, get your butt up and help these folks. Right? That's the thing that continues to, because I know, man, there's people that needs to be free, and it could all be so simple. It is. It may not be easy for you, but it's really simple things to do to get to that space and that place. Yeah, I'm telling you. Okay, y'all, I'm out of here. Seriously. Thank you all for listening today. I really, really appreciate it. For those of you who have not yet followed us on Instagram, please take the time out today to follow us on Instagram at Boundaries and More Podcast. Again, that's on Instagram at Boundaries and More Podcast. And man, for those of you, you know what? No. Yeah, look, let me put this out there. For those of you who are interested in taking things a little bit, a step further, right? Just a little step further. You like to get your personal questions answered and interact with me on a different level. Then look, I encourage you to join the Boundaries and More community. You can find that link in the show notes, or you can go to community.boundariesandmore.com. Come join me there and let's have some fun, right? Let's get these boundaries together. Let's have a whole lot of fun and just some other things like exclusive stuff that's happening there. Yeah, so I really appreciate y'all. Again, thank you for listening to this episode. I want you to go out today, y'all, today, and have an amazingly beautiful day. Enjoy the rest of your week and be back here next week for more Boundaries and More with Jess Abraham. Talk to y'all then.